In your firefighter training, you should have been trained to properly disconnect utilities, including water, gas, and electricity. Electricity should always be done with a switch or a disconnect point. Never do the meter. The meter is not a switch, it is not a disconnect point. Don't take your cutters, go up on a pole and try to cut wires loose either. Wait for the utilities to do so. In disconnecting the utilities, certainly wear your full PPE. It's not intentionally designed for arc flash protection, although it is NFPA rated for fire and heat protection as well. So it will offer quite a bit of protection. Make sure your face shield's down and wear safety glasses if you can. Certainly you could wear your SCBA and do that disconnect as well. Call the power company first. When you're heading to a structure fire and you know you're going to be needing to do a disconnect, call the utility, get them on the way. They don't have the luxury of driving with lights and siren, so it takes a little longer for them to get there. It can be very frustrating waiting for them, but they do not have the luxury of emergency response that we do. It takes less than 1/10 of an amp to put somebody into cardiac arrest. Your household current itself is rated at 15 amps on a normal breaker, so we're well over the limit that we need. You don't want to mess with it. If you're outside and you've shut off a main disconnect and their automatic standby generator is downstream of that main disconnect, it will automatically turn back on and re-energize the house. Smart homes, it is designed to keep itself alive. It's designed to keep itself energized. So when you shut the power off, even if the utility shuts the power off to it, it can turn itself back on. So you need to make sure that you're aware of where those are. Most of them will either run on gasoline or propane or some type of natural gas. So there usually is a place to disconnect by that generator as well. We've got UPSs for computers that can potentially backfeed if wired improperly. We're putting battery packs inside of homes now. That is inside the garage. It's inside the facility. Can create some fire hazards for us. But again, the power can come back on and you didn't expect it to. Installed properly, there should be a sign that says there is an alternate energy source there. Examples would be a generator, solar panels, battery backups, things like that, if it was done properly. The odds of it being done properly on small standby generators that you can buy at local box stores are very limited. I've said this before, the meter is not a switch, it is not a disconnect point. Pulling that meter, if that meter it isn't capable of breaking the load at that point, that meter could blow up in your face. It could actually cause more problems and more damage. Beyond that though, not all the meters have all the current flow going through them. Some of them, there is an actual instrument somewhere else that is sensing the current flow and it sends it to that meter. So the act of removing that meter does absolutely nothing to disconnect the service at all. And if you don't know that, if you aren't trained to that, you shouldn't be doing that either. The act of opening that meter up, on the backside of some of these instruments, you can have incredibly high voltage generated, which could actually injure people that are exposed to them. So it's just not good policy to pull the meter ever. So wait for the utility to properly disconnect.